It's Kentucky back on the field, and then Ray Davis, all day Ray. Man, oh man, is Davis doing it up.
This is Tootin taking it to his left, got a seam. Facial Tootin on the move, got some alleys out there. Beep, touchdown!
Back shoulder throw, he's got it. It's Tez Johnson. Johnson, call him Johnson, touchdown.
Is their defense. Little hole there to the right side, first down and end zone. Jeremiah Love, touchdown Notre Dame.
It's Williams in motion, low snap, Melrose stopped. Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Week 0 podcast, where it's just Ryan and I. I'm the one consistent participant every week. Everyone else is on rotating schedule at this point. Last week, Ryan wasn't here, and we had everybody else.
I had a legit excuse, though. Yes,
you were where? In New Jersey?
Jersey.
You were in Jersey. You were in a terrible state, literally. So that's always fun. But yes, now we don't have Josh because he's packing because he's moving because he just bought a house. Congrats to him. And Lucas is out taking his kid trick-or-treating. I'm sure he'll probably join us eventually. And Phil is driving again. So we'll see if Phil can get some signal. But, of course, I am your host, as always, Connor / What the Fuck is Virginia Tech, also known as Top Left Box, which is a little bit more – doesn't make much sense right now. But and then, of course, we've got Ryan Believer, of course. So – okay. Lucas just gave his picks, so it's just gonna be you and me then.
All right.
So Lucas is not gonna join us. So not only are we doing this, but also our NFL teams that are competing this week. I'm a Ravens fan. He is, of course, a Bo Nix believer, Broncos fan. He was not a believer in Bo Nix before he joined the Broncos, though. You really are.
No. I called him No Nix. Bo.
You called him No Nix the entire time. All it took was when you're doing an NFL team for you to actually believe in it.
Yeah.
Congrats. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. We'll kind of get into this overall. This past week was looking to shape up as a possible crazy weekend of. There was a lot of great games. I think when I'm looking back on the schedule, there just wasn't any big upsets like we all kind of were hoping for. What's your obviously we'll get into the actual games. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that all the kind of the special upset juices mojo was used up previous weeks? What did you have?
I think we just saw a lot of teams escape narrow upsets. Penn State trailed, I believe, into the fourth quarter against Wisconsin. Drew Aller goes out, so they're with their backup. And then, what was it? Who else? Texas and Vandy was just an amazing game. I think Vandy got hoed a couple times in that game by the refs. But yeah, it's. I always think it's like I always say this. Maybe it's like seems like every year, the weeks where you have kind of like this week where you only have two ranked versus ranked matchups. And then you look at the slate, and it's like, this is a terrible slate. That's when you have upsets happen. So
that's fair because because all the other teams are ranked versus ranked versus an unranked, and this is when and you don't think all of the games going to be there's that many good games, and then everything just happens all at once. So I can agree with that. Okay, so we'll talk about this real quick. Oregon blows out Illinois. Illinois still remains ranked. We'll obviously talk about the Week 10 AP poll once we get through all this discussion. Did you see any of this game at all? What was your biggest takeaway seeing that?
So I didn't see any of this game because I believe this was in the noon slot, right?
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, I was at the Notre Dame Navy game, but I didn't keep up with the score. So I didn't get to watch any of this game, but for all I know is that it seemed like Oregon put absolute belt to ass to Illinois from start to finish. So I think Oregon showed in this game that they are the certified number one team in America. Everyone else has shown vulnerabilities and weaknesses. Oregon's the only one that hasn't so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was 35-0 at halftime, and they won. So Oregon just probably at that point in the second half just put in their backups because they only won 38-9, so they only scored 3 points in the second half. So they definitely probably had their backups in.
Yeah,
but, they were cruising for most of that. And obviously, I think Illinois, just the way they play, it just can't keep up with a high-octane offense like that if they're not able to stop that offense, right? This is the team that beat Michigan a few weeks ago, literally playing a game from the 1940s in that game. So, Oregon looks good. I guess Illinois is getting the benefit of the doubt by still being ranked. That's definitely interesting. But it's also weird. It feels like a bunch of teams that shouldn't be ranked are still ranked. And I will get into that when we get to the AP poll, of course.
Yeah.
This was really, I guess, the only kind of true upset this week, which it wasn't that much of an upset. It was Texas A&M obviously actually blowing out LSU. LSU was number 8 in the country. I think what was it? It was like 37-17. It was like 17. Yeah. It was like 17-14 or 17 something LSU, and then
17-7 LSU at the half.
Yeah, and then Texas A&M just blew them out of the doors in the second half. I think it was 37.
Which was crazy because I believe it was 17-7 with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Sorry, 38-23, but that's 35. That's 30. Or sorry, that's 20. I can't math right now. 31 points in the second half for Texas A&M. That's impressive.
Texas A&M. In this game they started Connor Wegman. They've kind of been going back and forth between Wegman and Marcel Reed. The issue with Marcel Reed is that he brings a different element with his legs, but he's not a good passer. Connor Wegman is kind of the opposite. He's a better passer than Reed, but his lack of mobility at times creates the offense to be stagnant when the offensive line can't block.
Yeah.
So in the third quarter, I believe with like 8 minutes to go, they bench Wegman, put in Reed, and they go.
Oh yeah, I've seen Reed. I think I saw a replay, not in the game against Notre Dame, but I remember seeing him come in. That threw me when they did that.
So they're kind of in an identity crisis right now. I think it's more like a 2-quarterback system than anything. I don't necessarily know if Reed is going to start going forward, but this was a huge win for A&M. Thanks to them also because they're propping up Notre Dame. I think it was Joel Klatt.
Are they ranked ahead of you guys, or are you?
No, they're behind us. They should be. They should be behind the team that they lost to at home by 10. Right. But Joel Klatt said that kind of what he had said a couple weeks ago that if A&M keeps winning, they are automatically just going to push Notre Dame up further and further and further because you can't have. Because of the head-to-head, you can't have a team that lost to a team ranked ahead of another team. So it's a win-win for me. Also gotta love seeing Brian Kelly on a hot mic yelling at his players, like the typical BK. But I think he told Nussmeier to run the fucking operation. It's like, dude, I love it. I'm so glad he's not my head coach anymore.
Okay. Texas escapes Vandy. Like you said, there was a lot of some escapes of ranked teams. I didn't include Penn State in here, but obviously Texas escaped Vandy. I didn't see most of this game. I saw kind of towards the end of it. Unfortunately, Diego Pavia threw up a horrific pass on like 4th and 4. He just chucked it about 20 yards into the air with no prayer of any of it actually being caught. And then Texas got a field goal out of it. Vandy drove down the field to get a touchdown, and I guess tried an onside kick, but it was recovered by Texas. So obviously Vandy's no longer ranked. Does this win, or does this game for you, is this a concerning win for Texas or a validating loss for Vandy?
I think it's a validating loss for Vandy. I think Vandy might be the fourth best team in the SEC, behind Georgia, Tennessee, and A&M. I think Vandy, especially with Diego Pavia.
Wait, they say they'll still be ahead of Texas.
Oh, never mind. Fifth. I forgot about Texas.
I was
Because fifth best team. But going
I
from
understand. They're still better than you would think.
like if Vandy and Alabama played again at Vandy, I still think Vandy wins. If Vandy plays LSU, I think it'd be a good game. But I think what we're seeing is Vandy is a legitimate team.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Clark Lee's building there is not old school Vandy. I mean, the fact that they went from dead last in the conference to being a top 5 team, maybe top 6, is incredible for a 1 year turnaround.
Yeah, but what scares me obviously is now, obviously Clark Lee, I think Vandy is his alma mater. That's the school he went to. So I feel like he's more likely to stick around. But obviously the worry now is if maybe not this year, but if he does it again next year, right, has Vandy at a bowl game, another 6, 7, maybe 8-win season, right? He's probably going to be on, right? And that's kind of the issue. Some better SEC, traditionally better SEC team, Big Ten team looking to kind of get back into it will come knocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Obviously, that's what happened with James Franklin. He was there for 4 or 5 years. He turned him around pretty well.
Yeah.
Turned him into a perennial bowl game team, at least 8 or 9 wins every year in the last 3 years he was there. So, I mean, it's a validating win. It is a little concerning for Texas. Obviously, I think we all thought they were going to come out and try and want to blow Vandy out. My concern is that I didn't see much of the game, but I still feel like there's still a major concern about Ewers. Like,
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't look as good as he's been. Whatever the injury he had still is affecting him. I almost
wonder if part of it is also the mental thing because he's looking over his shoulder and he sees Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And
literally SEC royalty.
Yeah. So, and I think that stretch where he was healthy to play and they decided to go with Arch because, the excuse was, we're playing Louisiana Monroe. We're playing Mississippi State. I think that was part of them trying to maybe hint. And there was a weird thing that came out where 247 before the Vanderbilt game put out a piece and then deleted it where it said that Quinn Ewers was going to sit out the rest of the year to prepare for the NFL draft or something like that. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So it's a weird situation over there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. So we'll have to kind of see what goes on there. We don't have Texas on our pick'ems, so I can't remember who they play this week.
They're on a bye week.
Oh, they're on a bye week, right? Because I have Isaiah Bond. That was a mistake drafting his ass. I should have taken Travis Hunter. I could have taken. I was stuck between Bond and Hunter, and I knew whichever one of the two I didn't take, Lucas was going to take the other.
We made the mistake of letting Lucas get both Travis Hunter and Ashton Johnson.
He took Johnson in round
round 1
or 2. Round 1.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the hell he was, so yeah, Lucas is about to blow the shit out of us probably again in fantasy, so he's going to win his second straight year. I'm doing better in our NFL league, though. So,
yeah.
Okay, Ohio State squeaks by Nebraska, yet another close upset. Nebraska had the lead, let Ohio State drive down the field to take the lead, and then some really questionable, bad clock and game management there on the last drive by Nebraska. I joined the game late. Because I was watching the VT game, and the most annoying thing, I have YouTube TV, right? You have it with like multi-view, right?
Yep.
The most annoying thing is you can't just take 4 games that you want to watch and put them together. It chooses the combinations for you, and you can't change the games within them. You know what I mean? You have to try and find a combination that you want. And I couldn't find any combination of the VT game and the Ohio State Nebraska game. No combination whatsoever was available.
Yeah, I deal with that a lot too.
I'm not switching back and forth, so I was just following on my phone, so I didn't see the end of the game. But apparently, there was a very questionable targeting call on Ohio State that extended the drive for Nebraska. Ohio State fans supposedly started to do what Texas fans were doing by throwing garbage on the field. Supposedly, I can't remember, but Ohio State still by because Nebraska yet again comes up short like usual. What's your thoughts on this? I mean,
I think that there's more questions about Ohio State after this game.
I agree.
Ohio State hadn't played a soul or a team with a pulse
until Oregon.
They lose the game. I still think Oregon's a good team, but I think that win looks a little – because I still don't think we know what Ohio State is. I think we'll figure out what Ohio State is this week.
Mm-hmm.
The fact they've only played one ranked team and we're, week 10?
Yeah, week 10.
Is kind of concerning because they lost the team.
We're full 3/4 of the way through the season already.
And they played one ranked team. And I think if we're being honest, Nebraska probably should have won this game. But when Indiana is playing the same competition as Ohio State minus Oregon, and Indiana is winning more convincingly.
Yeah, by massive margins.
That's kind of concerning.
Actually, that's a good question. I was just asking myself, do they play each other?
Indiana, Ohio State, yeah.
Ooh.
Ohio State has to go to Indiana.
Ooh. When is that? Is that next week?
I think it's in a couple weeks.
It's November 23rd, so it's the week before Thanksgiving. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. So, what is that? That's the second to last week of the season of the regular season. So, yeah, that's 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks away. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there is questions about Ohio State. The other thing, also, and we'll get to this, is I'm not sure if I fully trust Penn State either because they squeaked by against a USC. This game will be really interesting to see. If it's an ugly ass game, like a 13, like it's a 17-10 or something, then I think everyone's. We would have no idea what to think of either team.
I don't think. I've seen weeks. Penn State to me is probably one of the most fraudulent number 3 teams in the nation I've ever seen. Like, they are only number 3 because they're undefeated. That's literally it. Like, they haven't done anything special. They haven't really beat. The best win they have is Illinois.
Who is nearly out of the top 25. And
the Big Ten as a whole, to be honest,
has been a big disappointment.
Besides Oregon and Indiana, yeah.
And USC and Washington are
Michigan's terrible.
Michigan State's middling, like usual.
Wisconsin is mid.
Wisconsin's above average. They're
Iowa's their offense is better, but somehow their record is worse.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, the Minnesota, I guess, is okay. They're 5-3, but it's just a weird conference.
Yeah. And then, of course, Alabama and your Notre Dame Fighting Irish blowout ranked opponents. First, let's talk about Bama. Then we can talk about your Irish for all of, I hope, 2 minutes. I hope you don't go too long on this. Missouri. How the hell is Missouri? They're ranked, aren't they? They're still ranked.
25.
How the fuck are they still ranked? They
SEC bias. That's why.
They should not be ranked. If you have like 3 or 4 loss, what, they have 3 losses now? You should
They have 2 losses.
Oh, okay. But still, like, they've just been getting worse.
So
and worse.
their resume is
This is the Vandy game that Missouri's just been on a downward
they
trajectory.
beat Vandy in double overtime.
And it's been just downhill ever
They
since.
got blown out by A&M and blown out by Alabama.
Yeah. And so Bama, I don't know if this really – obviously it's a get-right game for them. I don't know if it actually kind of course corrects what we've seen out of them. Obviously, it helps them it makes them feel a little bit better about themselves. But I think Bama, what's their schedule? What do they play?
Their toughest game left's LSU.
They're on a bye this week, and then they play at LSU next week.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, what's your thoughts on Bama?
I think I still have concerns about their defense. They looked good in this game, but Missouri also didn't have Brady Cook. They had Drew fucking Pine at quarterback.
He's still in college football somehow.
Yep. Yeah.
Jesus.
Played for 3 different teams in the last year and a half. So that's pretty terrible. Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I still have concerns about Alabama's defense going forward. I still don't know if their offense is kind of going to do what they did against Alabama and Tennessee. It's so weird, Connor, because I've never seen a team that can look so explosive and look like one of the best offenses in the nation for a quarter.
Our next drive looked like they can't move more than 5 yards.
Yeah, it's so hit or miss. Tennessee, offense looks good in the first half. Second half, completely stagnant. Georgia, first half, explosive offense. They're putting belt to ass to Georgia. Second half, they forget how to score.
It's VT. VT's the same way this year. It's oddly enough. It's like we'll look really explosive for like a quarter or two, and then or like in the first half, we won't look very good. Second half, suddenly we'll kind of like wake up and look better, except for a few minutes or something like that. It's like when we played Boston College, we were up 28-0 at halftime. In the third quarter, Boston College scores 21 in a matter of like 6 minutes of game time because of turnovers by VT, and then VT goes on and wins 42-21 by getting 2 touchdowns in the fourth. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's the same thing for them. Notre Dame, obviously your team won. Obviously, my second team is Navy. Growing up so close to the Naval Academy, I've always been a Navy fan. This game was more, I didn't see it, but Navy shot themselves in the foot with 6 or 7 turnovers?
6 turnovers.
6 turnovers.
They had 2. They were number 1 in the nation in turnover margin.
Yeah.
They had only had 2 turnovers all season. They had 6 in this game.
Yeah. Let me actually, I had something. Let me check this because let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. Jeez, I might not have it. Oh, it's right here. Because this game. Because box score. Let me just see team stats. So I mean, yeah, you guys outgained them. Obviously, but that I remember the turning. I feel like the turning point was that first fumble. I watched part of the game. It was the very first fumble by.
It was their fullback. Their fullback.
Maybe that fumbled in. You were returning for a touchdown.
No, we didn't return it for a touchdown, but we returned it inside the 10.
Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't remember. I thought it was for a touchdown. Because then the very next drive
they had a fumble again.
They had a fumble, but then I think after that they had that big touchdown run when it was like 21.
Yeah, Horvath ran for like a 40-yard touchdown.
So, yeah, I mean, like obviously a team like that, they can't have those fumbles if they want to stick in it. What was your takeaway, not just from Notre Dame, but even just seeing Navy play?
So I think I think a lot of people there's one of two narratives that came out of this game. It's Notre Dame won because Navy shot themselves in the foot.
Which is why
good teams to take advantage of those turnovers. Notre Dame scored off of 5 of 6 of those. The one they didn't was a missed field goal because our starting field goal kicker's out.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah, I saw that.
But I still think even if Navy doesn't have those turnovers, I still think that Notre Dame wins by a pretty decent margin because the issue was Navy could not stop Notre Dame through the air or Notre Dame running. And that was the biggest question coming into this game is Navy ranks 97th in the country in total defense. They have one of the worst secondaries in the nation. Their run defense, they were giving up almost 150 rush yards per game. So that was the issue. That's why, when they played Memphis, it was a shootout because Memphis couldn't stop them, but Navy couldn't stop Memphis. So, and I think when you play like that against a team that can run the ball, you're playing with fire. And also the fact that Notre Dame was actually able to pass the ball. Riley Leonard had 3 passing touchdowns this game. So
what is this game? Because obviously it's not this week. What is it? Next week when you play Army?
No, next week we play Florida State.
Or was it?
How many weeks play Army? The week after we play Army.
Oh, so in 2-3 weeks?
2 weeks
time?
Yeah.
So the thing with both Army and Navy and why they've been so successful is they changed from a pure
running team
triple option to a triple option, but they were able to pass the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the triple option is always the most difficult defense or offense to kind of prepare for on a weekly basis when you only have 1 week to prepare. Obviously, does this give you – obviously, I'm sure you would be confident anyway, but does this give you more confidence to stop Army? Because Army's QB has been doing very well as well with the passing and the rushing so far.
So it gives me confidence on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side, no, because the difference between Navy and Army has top 10 in total defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is good. While they also have an explosive offense. So that's why I kind of going into the Navy game, I was talking and I'm like, Army's a better matchup for Notre Dame than Navy. Because Army can actually stop.
You obviously you'd still be surprised, but Army, you could be more. You could actually see the upset being more likely because of that defense.
Yeah.
If they're able to put it all together.
Mm-hmm. But again, the also thing is you got to remember, and I'm not delirious, but it does kind of annoy me that Notre Dame beats A&M. Everyone's like that, even though most people picked A&M to win. Oh well, and Notre Dame beat a team that's going to finish middle of the pack in the SEC.
Yeah,
same thing with Army or Navy. Well, Navy's going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame beats them 51-14. Oh well, see, it's just a service academy. What'd you expect?
It's just a service academy, and that's
still losing.
That's still 1 and undefeated in their conference so far.
Lose. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
No, I get it.
So,
okay,
but yeah,
cool. We'll move on. Obviously, I'm sure that Army Notre Dame game will be in our pick'ems in a few weeks' time. So if you want to pull this up, I still don't understand how Missouri and Illinois are still ranked after losing so badly. But looking at the top 10, it's interesting that Clemson, I think, was 10 and they dropped because they want to buy. So they dropped 1. Yeah. Texas A&M jumps them because they blew out LSU. Iowa State then also fell because Texas A&M jumped from 14 to 10. And now, obviously, the new ones, I think Washington State and Colorado are the 2 new ranked teams.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, Colorado is what, 6-2?
Yep.
6-2. It feels like, and I think this is what's been a benefit for them is all the crazy hype that was around them last year it's not there this year, which is a benefit for them, right? They're not being as scrutinized, and I think that's letting them focus. And I think it's also showing that they did need a full year to fully develop. The defense is definitely better. Their running is still not the best from what I've seen, but they're better. They're okay. They're okay at it. And obviously, you still got Shador and Travis Hunter and all those guys who are really good weapons. What are your thoughts on them being ranked?
So I think Colorado deserves to be ranked.
Mm-hmm.
That loss to Nebraska still kind of hurts. I don't even believe they have a ranked win yet.
But they've been beating like good teams.
They've been beating besides the Baylor game where they needed the Hail Mary to beat Baylor.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Kansas State beat them pretty, that was a tough, hard-fought game. But I think that this is solid improvement. I believe I had them at 8-4.
Yeah, I mean the best. Yeah, they barely lost to a K-State team that's 17th now. So they blew out Arizona, who was who we all thought was going to be better. They're kind of been more mid this year. Cincinnati's been better. They're like Cincinnati's a solid 5-3. Going to be a bowl team probably. Yep. Colorado State, that's actually looking like a good win because Colorado State's been pretty good in the Mountain West, right? Aren't they?
I don't think so. I don't think they've been good.
It was Colorado State. Let me check Colorado State. Nope. Oh, wait. No, that's the record now. No, they're 1-2. They're second in the Mountain West. They are. Let me check this real quick. Sorry, give me a second. 1-2, 2-2, 3. They're 5-3, so that's not that bad. So
one thing I will say, and this has kind of been a pet peeve of mine the last couple days. I've seen A&M, BYU, Iowa State, and Indiana fans. Yes, Indiana fans exist evidently for football. Do nothing but bitch that they fell behind Notre Dame. I believe Iowa State dropped completely out of the top 10. They were on a bye week. And this is what I've been telling them, Connor. You can tell me if you agree or not. A&M, I've had A&M fans, well, if we played Notre Dame today, we'd beat them. Again, you can't use hypotheticals because the game was played. You lost at home at night by 10. Deal with it. BYU, you have one ranked win. Notre Dame has 3. There you go. Iowa State has 0 ranked wins. 0. They have 1 win over a team that's above 500. Indiana, they've looked dominant. Again, their strength of schedule is terrible. Think about this, Connor. Notre Dame's schedule, we all laughed at it at the beginning of the year. You consider that a pretty weak schedule, right?
What? Sorry, I consider what a weak schedule.
Notre Dame's schedule at the beginning of the year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, everyone thought coming in that the hardest game was going to be what USC and Florida. Sorry, Colorado. USC and Florida State. Yeah. Right. That was everyone and we all thought. Texas A&M and Florida State.
Yeah.
Right. And we thought that you weren't going to have another really hard game until then. Obviously, you still have the noose of that Northern Illinois, obviously.
Yeah.
Who has not been doing you any favors, losing to Buffalo and Toledo.
Yeah. No, they beat Toledo.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They beat Toledo? And Toledo's a 5-3.
Yeah, that's
Northern Illinois. What's Northern Illinois' record? Are they like
4-4?
Okay, so they're not 3-5, but they're still. Obviously, they got ranked because they beat you, but they promptly.
But my point in that was that Notre Dame's strength of schedule for a weak schedule is better than BYU's, is better than Iowa State's, and is better than Indiana's. So how I look at it is if you're bitching and you're a fan of either one of those 3 teams, play somebody. Okay. Schedule a good team in the non-con.
Can we get off Notre Dame? What's your thoughts on Illinois and Missouri still being ranked? I mean, who's number 26?
Vanderbilt.
I mean, if anything, Vanderbilt should have stayed ranked, and Missouri should have been dropped out because they got blown out while Vandy stuck with it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what that is Vandy lost to Georgia State.
Yeah, I mean that is pulling them down, and that's really unfortunate. That obviously it would be a lot different if they were 6-2.
Well, and they also lost the head-to-head to Missouri.
True, I know, but still, it's Missouri and Illinois. They shouldn't be ranked. Well,
The argument with Illinois is that they lost to Oregon
yeah,
and Penn State, which are two of the top 3 teams.
yeah. Memphis. So Vandy's 26. Memphis, Tulane, Navy, Louisville is the next 4 to finish the top 30. So you have Vandy, and then you have 3 teams in the AAC, which obviously is being led by Army at the moment. So that's interesting.
Another thing I don't know about is that Pitt's undefeated.
Yeah.
Why are they behind Kansas State, LSU, and Boise? And Bama?
Because I'd say Boise, because Boise has that close loss to Oregon, and I feel like LSU, who did they play?
They lost to USC, which is a terrible loss.
It's not that bad. They're 4-4. It's not like it's losing to a 1-8 team. And in case it has that win over Colorado, it's just Pitt just has not played that many teams.
But again, Connor, they haven't played a ranked team, but Iowa State's number 11. They haven't played a ranked team.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't start doing that, or else, everyone's like, oh, they're being ranked, blah, 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 blah. Let me see this. Pittsburgh. Football. Yeah, because, they obviously had that game where they embarrassed Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
With those picks. They beat Cal, which is whatever. Cal's kind of been there. UNC's not been good. West Virginia's been and Cincinnati's been okay, but other than that, they haven't played anybody. So I think that's what's maybe holding them back. K-State at least has that win over Colorado now, and LSU. That's where that SEC bias is as well. But
yeah,
well, LSU.
Well, Connor, they're looking for any reason to put Alabama back in the top 10.
Probably.
Like they're looking for any reason, but.
Well, LSU has that win over Ole Miss, who's still
18th.
19th.
Or 19th, yeah.
They have that win over, South Carolina. South Carolina's maddeningly inconsistent. And they have a win over 5-3 Arkansas. So I don't know.
I do like that Army is moving up.
Yeah,
I like to see that.
I hope Navy can jump back into it if Missouri and Illinois fall back out of it. I think Navy can jump.
I think if they keep winning, they will.
Yeah, I think they would want possibly if you get that where they play each other in the conference championship, you would obviously want them both ranked, and then whoever wins maybe gets an auto bid to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go to the pick'ems. So last week, starting this week, I've decided to include how everyone did, and as you can see, both Lucas and I went 17-2 out of our 19 picks, and
two of them, your 2 losses were Vandy and Navy. If you wouldn't,
right? I would have gone perfect if I had actually chosen correctly. If I had not gone with my heart on both of those, if I had gone with my head, I would have gone perfect, and I would at least be ahead of Phil. But with how good everybody else did, I wasn't able to gain at all because Phil still, did good enough to be ahead of me. Obviously, Josh did great. Ryan, you did fine, or you did not fine. You did good. 15-4 is a pretty good record.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy that I didn't even realize. I completely forgot that. Yeah, I did take Vandy and Navy because that was what my heart wanted me to take. And if I had gotten those 2 correct, I'd at least be ahead of Phil. So,
but Lucas has finally taken the lead back. He was in the lead for the first couple weeks. Josh then overtook him.
Yeah, because Lucas had a few not good weeks there.
There's been a lot of movement. I like it.
So So these, for everyone that's following along, these point spreads are from FanDuel. I was just pulling from the app. So first off, we have Minnesota, who is a 2.5-point favorite on the road at number 24 Illinois. Minnesota blew out Maryland. It was 40 something to 20 something. It's like 38-10 at halftime. Maryland did not show up at all. I was hoping they would show up after being USC, but clearly Maryland is just gonna October Maryland like usual and just shit the bed once it changes over to October with a. So, are you surprised before I do the pick? Are you surprised that Illinois is not the favorite?
A little bit. I think a little bit, but I think these two teams are evenly matched. So,
got it. Cool. I just think Minnesota's offense is just too much. Illinois just can't keep up, like I said, with explosive offenses. So give me the Golden Gophers on the road.
So I am taking Illinois in this one. I think Illinois gets back on track. I think Luke Altmaier and that team, they right the ship and beat Minnesota. Josh and Lucas both went with Illinois.
Yes. Okay. So we got USC, who's a 2.5-point favorite at Washington, the mid-off of former Pac-12 teams. For reference, Lucas went Washington, Josh went USC. So they have fully split. I'm sure we split as well. Man, I don't know who I trust less. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
Well, Washington's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So by their pattern,
USC's on like a 2-game losing streak.
Yep. And so by the pattern, Washington would win this game.
Fine, that's enough to convince me. And I think it's also because USC, like I said, USC is on that 2-game losing streak, losing to Maryland. And who did they play last week that they lost to?
Who, USC?
Yeah.
They've been on bye week. They're on bye week.
Oh, well, they lost to Penn State the week before Maryland.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Give me Washington. Give me
UW in this one.
Okay. TCU at Baylor, who is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Lucas is taking Baylor, and Josh is taking Baylor. Give me the Horned Frogs.
Oh. I'll take the Bears in this one.
Okay. Toledo, a surprising nearly 10-point favorite on the road at Eastern Michigan. Both teams with the same record. Josh and Lucas both are taking Toledo in this. I will also join them with them. That line tells me obviously something's up. I'm not sure if Vegas knows something that's going on with Eastern Michigan or what, but that is, unless Eastern Michigan has really not been playing really good team, like just been playing terrible teams to have that record like that. I don't know, but give me the Rockets.
Yeah, I'm taking Toledo in this one to win it on the gray turf.
Yeah, give me the James Hardens. Okay, I don't think you got that. Okay,
No, I did get it.
Ole Miss, who is a 7.5-point favorite at Arkansas. Lucas has Ole Miss, and Josh has Ole Miss.
I'm taking Arkansas in this one.
Really?
I'm upset. Yep.
I mean, I was leaning towards Ole Miss, but I feel like they've disappointed me. I've taken them a few times. I think I've gotten it both wrong both times. They've lost.
Yeah.
But Arkansas also bit me a few times. I'll take Arkansas. I'll go against them. Got to make up those points on Josh and Lucas somehow. So got to do it here. Here we go. This is actually should be a really good game. Number 18, Pitt at number 20, SMU, who is a 7.5-point favorite at home. Josh has SMU, and Lucas has Pitt. Give me SMU. SMU, I mean, like we were talking about, Pitt kind of really hasn't played anybody. I feel like SMU's played a few better teams. They beat Louisville, or Louisville, however the hell you say it. I Thank God we don't have Josh here to get down my neck about that.
Yeah.
But give me the SMU. Give me the Fighting Jake Eichsteds.
Yeah, I'm taking Pitt in this one. The formerly fighting baby hands of Kenny Pickett.
Oh, Pitt?
Yeah.
Schittsburg to win? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Indiana, number 13, Indiana, who's a 7.5-point favorite at Michigan. I feel like it's weird. No line in this entire thing is – every single line is a half point. There's no regular points. You know what I mean? I feel like that's weird. Maybe I'm just not used to it.
That's common. It's common.
I feel like I'm used to seeing it being like 8, not that. Whatever. Okay. Josh has Indiana and Lucas has Indiana, and I agree. Obviously, Michigan State lost, so they're still a little grown on. Indiana is going to roll to 9-0. Go Hoosiers.
Yeah, give me the Hoosiers in this one.
Okay. Louisville at number 11. Clemson is a 10.5-point favorite. Lucas has Clemson. Josh has Clemson as well. I'll also go Clemson. Unfortunately, it feels like Louisville, doesn't have the juice that they had last year. And they're falling by the wayside.
They've came really close. They had a 7-point loss to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
A 7-point loss to Miami. And a 7-point loss to SMU. So a 7-point loss to all 3 ranked teams that they played. I'm taking Clemson here again to win by 7. That's the curse of 7 points for Louisville this year.
So you think they're going to win? They're going to lose by 7 again?
Yeah.
It'll be like the Miami game. They're going to keep it close, and then Clemson's going to pull away in the fourth quarter, and they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Louisville's going to get a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
Make it 7 points or like a one-score game.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Texas Tech, who was so surprising 6-2. I feel like I've been picked against them a bunch of times.
You picked against them all, got them wrong.
I know. They bit me. But at the same time, this line, I don't know what to do with this because that is a 13.5-point favorite for Iowa State. But yeah, Texas Tech.
Let me look up really quick if they have any injuries.
That's probably why. But Texas Tech has been the one team that's bit me the most this entire year because I've picked against them every single time. Either whenever I've picked them or not picked them, it's always been the exact opposite way. They do not like me right now.
Okay. So their quarterback is listed as questionable.
Oh God. Okay. Who is it?
Baron Morton.
Okay. I guess I'll take Iowa State then. Maybe if he plays, maybe I'll finally pick Texas Tech. But for now, I'll take the Cyclones. Oh, and
I'm taking Texas Tech in the upset here. Iowa State has not played anybody this year. Texas Tech will be the best team they've faced all year. Give me the Red Raiders to pull off the upset.
Josh and Lucas have taken Iowa State.
I'll be the one outlier
here. Should I join you? I have no idea.
If you want.
Okay. Texas A&M, who is only 3.5-point favorite on the road at a very up and down schizophrenic South Carolina team, right?
I think this has a lot to do with it being at South Carolina at night.
Yeah, it's a night game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, Josh, and Lucas took South Carolina. Josh is taking Texas A&M. This is the exact type of game that Texas A&M would lose to, one, hurt themselves, and 2, hurt you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it. That's what I'm going to take. I'm going to take South Carolina. I'm joining Lucas in that pick.
So
I know that's going to help me, but I know that's
I don't know if you saw this, Connor, but A&M got rings. Legitimate rings for beating LSU. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the first time they've ever led the SEC in the standings. Like kind of like a premature, like, oh, you guys are regular season.
No, it's not even that. They'll give it to themselves if they win the regular season standings. If they're number one in the standings, guaranteed. Even if they don't win the actual conference championship.
But yeah, I think A&M squeaks out. I think they squeak out a win here.
Okay. Yep. Here we go. Duke at Miami.
Oh God,
Number 5
20 and a half.
Yeah, Duke is lost 2 straight after they started 6-0. They definitely were a very fraudulent.
No, they didn't. No, they haven't lost 2 straight. They lost
sure?
They lost to Georgia Tech 4 weeks ago, and they lost this week.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't remember. I just knew they were not as good as they actually were because their schedule had been Charmin soft, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a massive. I don't know if Miami's going to win by this much because Miami really likes to keep these games close. I don't know what the hell's up with that, but I also don't know if Duke's offense is that good. So give me the Hurricanes. Josh and Lucas are both taking Miami as well.
Yeah, I want to take Duke here because Miami is fraudulent as hell. I don't trust their offense. Their defense is legit. I think that keeps them in the game. I don't think Miami covers, but I'll take the Hurricanes.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, Florida, who is doing better than I think we all thought, given how tough their schedule was. They still don't look that good, but that's a better record than I thought they were gonna have. At Georgia, well, technically versus because it's a neutral site in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite. Lucas and Josh have taken Georgia. I will also take Georgia. I think at times there are times where you can see Georgia as being the best team in the country. And I think they would match up very well against Oregon if they were to play right now. Florida, I think they're doing better, and I think Billy Napier's maybe if he makes a bowl game, he'll have saved himself at least another year. I feel, given how monstrous of a schedule they have this year. So give me the Bulldogs. I think they cover. They get like a backdoor cover. It'll be like 10 or 14 point lead, and they'll get like a late game, like a garbage time score to cover this.
I think Georgia blows them out, but I'm taking the Dogs in this one.
Okay, so Kentucky at number 7, Tennessee. Kentucky's just getting one step closer and closer each week to firing Mark Stoops. Josh's been calling it for pretty much since they lost their first game. He's been calling for it.
Think about this, Connor. Kentucky is the second worst team in the SEC standings, only in front of Mississippi State. They lost to Auburn.
Yeah, and Auburn's bad. Tennessee, Lucas has Tennessee. So does Josh. He knows. I think he's at that point. He's almost spitefully picking Tennessee because he wants Mark Stoops gone. I think Tennessee wins, and I think they cover this.
Yeah, I do too. I think Tennessee wins, and I'm taking the points.
Okay, so obviously I'll go last, even though it's just the two of us. Lucas has taken VT. Josh taken VT. Real quick before you go, VT has not won at Syracuse since 1998.
How many times do you play at Syracuse?
That's actually a good question. Let me see if I can see how many.
Do you guys joined over from the Big East together, though, right?
No, they joined after us. They joined well after us. We joined in 2004. They joined in 2014 or 14. Football history. So yeah, I mean 1, 2. Okay, actually, yeah, that's only sorry. No wait, we haven't won there since 2000, but we've only been there. This will only be the third time since 2000 we've actually been there. It's just we just haven't won there. Both times we last played them was just embarrassingly bad losses by VT in Syracuse. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm taking VT in this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll take VT as well. It's just seeing how Honda McClure played against Pitt. I'm sure his confidence is shook.
You guys are still in the ACC title picture, by the way.
Yeah, probably if we win this game and we somehow beat Clemson next week, I'm sure that'll help.
You guys only have one loss in conference, and
it was a bullshit loss to Miami. Regardless, So, yeah. But yeah, go Hokies. Is that the right way? Which way is the best way for you to say? Anyway, okay. Oregon, who is only a 14.5-point favorite at Michigan. Of course, Lucas is taking Oregon. Josh is taking Oregon. I also take Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Give me the Ducks.
They cover this easy. I feel Michigan is just not going to have the offense to keep up at all.
Yeah.
So that's just how it's going to be for me. Okay. So Notre Dame's on a bye.
Yep.
And obviously, so cool. So the Week 0 podcast game of the week, number 4, Ohio State, who's a 3.5-point favorite at Penn State. Lucas is taking Ohio State. Josh is taking Penn State. If this was a night game, like it should be, and this was the whiteout, like it should be, then I would be taking Penn State. Even though I've never been a big Drew Rattler fan, I don't believe in him. Not much, not really. And that loss to Oregon was a better
loss
than any win Penn State has, if that makes sense. So, give me Ohio State.
I'm taking Ohio State. I think it's a close game, but I think that I trust James Franklin has only beaten Ohio State once. And
it's a crazy ass blocked field goal.
And it was a blocked field goal. So and it's crazy to me they wasted the whiteout night game at Penn State for Illinois. But big noon kickoff, right?
Their fault. I'm guessing Penn State can choose obviously which game they want.
No, it's up to the TV companies.
Oh, so it is. So that sucks.
They wanted this for big noon kickoff. That's why. Big noon kickoff is ruining college football.
I also hate the fact that Michigan and Ohio State is always the noon kickoff. I feel that always, no matter what, at least the past few years, should always be a night game, regardless of where it is. That's how it should be. That's me. Okay, in our $1 ticket game, I jokingly said to Ryan, that another game we could have chosen is UMass at Mississippi State, but Mississippi State is like a 13 or 14-point favorite on that game. So this is a lot closer. Middle Tennessee State at UTEP, who is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Last time we had Middle. This is like the second or third time we've had Middle Tennessee State. Second straight week, or the second time this year?
Second time this year.
What about Kennesaw? Are they on bye?
They played already.
All right. They've been playing like on Tuesdays now. That's been throwing us off.
Nobody wants to watch it.
Lucas has UTEP. Josh has Middle Tennessee State. Give me Middle Tennessee State because I've seen them play and I saw them beat Maryland of all teams in person back in 2007 or 2008. So that was fantastic memory that I have to deal with.
Fuck it. So I'll take University of Texas El Paso.
Nice. Okay. So wow, if we had been a little bit quicker, we would have had this under an hour. Just the two of us, surprisingly. Pick'ems probably took actually surprisingly did not take the longest. And we were able to keep you from ranting for 20 minutes about Notre Dame. So congrats to us. So this has been the Week 0 podcast. We appreciate all 89 of you that are watching. I know a lot of you are watching on Ryan's channel. Please also head over to our Week 0 Productions YouTube page. Like and subscribe there. We are nearly at 500 subscribers. I know we haven't been doing as much over there as we should be. Just life's been getting in the way, unfortunately, so we're not being able to do as much over there as we would like. Hopefully we can get back into that eventually. But we'll be back on – you guys – I won't be doing it because I'll be working because it's election night. Are you guys going to do a live reaction to the first CFP poll?
Yes.
Okay. We will be doing a live reaction to the first CFP poll. And so we'll be doing that next Tuesday. I think the poll comes out at 7 or 8?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be doing a live stream for that. I will not be there because I have to work. I work in the news, so because it's election night, not just presidential, but state and local elections as well. I'll be busy working, so I'll be there with you guys in spirit. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, guys, have a great day. We'll see you on Tuesday.